Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Paranormal Mediums. We have an incredible show for you tonight, full of paranormal activity and spirited stories. So, if you have any stories about ghosts or alien encounters, or interesting stories of life after death, please let us know, and we will invite you to join us live here on the show so you can tell us your stories. Or if you'd rather just type in your stories here live, we can read them and share them with the audience for you. Plus, Julie and I will be giving live readings to the audience. Since this is a live show, everyone who would like a reading, please put specific questions in the chat as it will be easier for us to connect. And yes, to what you're truly looking to know. And of course, I'm Fayon. And on top of being an above amateur paranormal investigator, I'm a born psychic medium and remote viewer. And recently, I started working with investigators and families on cold cases involving murders and missing persons. And of course, I'm the founder of Evolve Me online spiritual community for learning and metaphysical practices, where we offer services, classes, events, and mentorships, as well as a truly supportive social community. To join as a free or premium member, sign up on evolveme.com. That's evolve without the E at the end.com or me.com. I always do that. And of course, my lovely co host, Julie Starr, Miss Dr. Julie Starr. How are you doing
Hey,
tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, and it's not always lovely to see your face, my
Thank
friend,
you. Thank
and hear
you.
your voice. Yeah,
I know.
we have some a few things to talk about, and have a story that someone sent in, and pictures to show, which will be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to show a little bit. We're going to have a bit of a discussion about, about orb photos and things like that, and some of the interesting things that I have been noticing, and especially within the paranormal community, there's a lot of debate on orbs and things. So we're going to discuss that as well. And I'm pulling up my chat. Hi there. Rachel just joined us. How are you doing there, Rachel? Um, and yes, again, if anybody's interested in sending us one of your stories or maybe even hopping on live with us to tell your story, please let us know. Or if you'd like a reading, please put a specific question in the chat. So awesome. Yeah, this is a wonderful piece, and I'm going to try to pull it up, and I'll let this is from an anonymous viewer that really interested in telling and sharing their story. So I'm just going to pull this up.
And we love to
Give me
see
a
and hear about
second.
people's stories and see things they have on video or pictures, or even just hear the stories. We love that. So if
Yeah,
anybody has any you want to send in, send us a message, and
I
we'd
know.
love to hear about that. And
Absolutely.
speaking of which, don't forget, you got to talk about the Ultimate Paranormal Retreat that's coming up.
I know. It's and actually just under a month from now, we're going to be
No, it's
there.
right in the corner.
I know. And I'm so excited. We're getting everything ready, and there's just so much excitement about this. And we're going to be doing. It's called the Ultimate Paranormal Experience Retreat. And myself, Deborah Lynn Katz from International School of Clairvoyance, as well as Joshua Lewis from Hope Paranormal, and Julie Starr and I will be going to St. Augustine. We're doing a retreat. I believe there's a few spots left. So, if you're interested in having a great time in St. Augustine, as well as learning about intuitive development and also paranormal investigations, definitely sign up on evolveme.com. It's under the Ultimate Paranormal Experience Retreat. And yeah, it's going to be exciting.
St. Augustine is just a beautiful, beautiful city, and it's, right on the ocean, and it's such an old town, very, very old. It's the oldest town in America, from what I understand.
Yes. And the crazy part. Oh, hi there, Lori. Lori Albert's on. Hi, friends. That tree is going to be so fun. I know you guys are going to see so many ghosts. I know it is. It's like Ghost Disneyland over there. And very interestingly enough, I was just this Sunday. I was on Dead Air, Full Spectrum, with Deborah and Josh. We were being interviewed by George Lopez, who reached out to me about the paranormal tree. He lives near St. Augustine, and there's a lot of people. And he told me about a place called Kerr City, and I've been talking to another friend through George, Aaron Bush, also has been to Kerr City and said it is uber haunted, but also there's a bit of a negative energy that resides there because of a few, I would say. Let's say, novice investigators that really didn't know how to respect the space. And it intrigued me because, you know, uh, the energy itself there is, from what I understand, there's a rich history of Native American, I believe Native Americans, as well as early settlers to the area came there, but only recently has this dark energy come in. And from what I can feel through just having the conversation with George, it seems that there's some unsettled energy. So uh, he just told me today, and I didn't tell you this yet, Julie, that they have closed it down.
Really?
And yes, because of the not because of the activity, but because of people kind of I don't know, disrupting the area and really not being respectful of the space. But he is going to talk to the owners to see if we can go there
Oh,
and
that'd be great.
investigate. Yeah, and maybe even help, you know, help kind of bless the land, and maybe
Yeah.
see if we can do something to help. So he is going to ask her, and the woman that owns it now, and let's see what happens. So that'll be exciting.
I have a feeling that it could be good.
Me too. It's so funny because everybody that I've talked to, Aaron and George, and a few of the people that were even on the show that day were like, "Are you really going to do that?" And I just have this very strong feeling that it's probably good that we go,
Mhm.
specifically us, because I feel like we can help the energy, settle a little bit. And not
Mhm.
to say to move it on, because that's their land. And what I truly believe is in that energy was sort of like it's hard for me to say this, but sort of like a skinwalker energy, where and if anybody understands or knows what a skinwalker is, um, it is a Native American shaman that basically shapeshifted. So they would call it a cryptid, right? Right, basically. But I feel that that energy has come up because of the unsettled and the disrespect of the land, honestly. So, what do you think about that, Julie?
Me, I have no idea. I have to go. I have
Yeah,
to be there and feel it. But I like
yeah,
sitting here right now listening. I don't know.
yeah,
I can speculate,
yeah,
but I want to go there and I want to feel the energy, and then I'll know.
yeah. And if it were, let's say, if it were a sort of a dark energy, how would you, how would you handle that?
How would I handle the dark energy? I would call in my guardian angels and my guides to assist me. And I'd also go in first with a pretty high frequency bubble of protection around me. And I'm not sure, because, you know, something like that, especially because it feels like it's something pretty sinister. I would really need to like go into my trance state and consult with my guides on that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
let them guide me or guide us on how to handle that. But I definitely wouldn't walk in there without plenty of prayer and high vibe bubble of energy around me, and without calling in my guardian angels.
Absolutely. I agree. I feel the same way. And, something is compelling me to at least, feel the energy there. That doesn't necessarily mean that we even go in. If I felt that it was unsafe or something that we couldn't really, work with, then I wouldn't just jump in. And I agree. It's definitely something that uh, uh, you really have to protect yourself, but you also really have to be aware of how your body's reacting to it too.
Yeah, you
So,
really do.
right?
And just
Yeah.
make conscious decisions. You know, that's I consult with my guides, and I listen to my guides on things like that, because I've been bitten and bitten and bitten and bitten. You know,
Right.
with
And
things
that's
like
why
this.
I ask. Yeah.
And I'm really learning discernment and learning to make conscious decisions when it comes to things like this. And I feel like I'm getting more there's a lot happening with me lately that you don't even
Yeah.
know about yet, Theon. There's a lot happening with me lately, and I'm getting more and more prepared for some of the really hard demonic stuff. So it's
Yeah.
there's a lot of changes happening with me energetically, inside and out. It's
Yes.
the book is I'm writing the book. The book's in the making. There's just I have a story.
I can't wait to hear because I have been out of town, so I haven't really been able to hear, but I know something's been going on with you. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I have.
that
I'm tussling with it almost nightly. And
really,
I'm getting pretty, and it's all I'm just being God is I just feel like it all comes from my soul and from God, and that I'm supposed to experience these things, and I'm being trained in these things because this is like my path and what I can do to help. So as a spiritual warrior.
yeah,
So I definitely wouldn't just go walking and barging in on that land without prayer first,
yeah,
and listening and
yeah,
meditation with my guides about how to proceed with that. And
absolutely. And
they will tell me.
oh, of course. And I kind of want to make a comment here. Uh, Rachel, who is actually going to be Julie's roomie at the retreat, she's like, I'm so excited for the retreat. And she said, oh, snap, Julie. um, you'll believe me, rooming with Julie, and I'm really sad that I can't because we have actually, I'm probably just going to hang out with you guys until it's time to go to bed because I love just hanging out with Julie because, well, one, my energy always gets amplified. And
We
right,
amp each other up when we're
we
physically
really,
in the same space.
yeah, I really, I don't know what it is, but well, I do. We definitely are, from the same soul family or something, that, we trigger something great in each other. So, I love it. But, I'm curious to see how, Rachel is going to react with the, constant energy around you. She's going to love
It's
it, actually.
it's getting pretty intense. I'll be interested
Yeah.
to see what you feel when I project it out at you. See what you're feeling.
Yes. Oh my
And
gosh. Um,
I'm
okay.
bringing Bear, and I'm bringing Bear. So Bear is also going to be our
Yay.
roommate.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. That's my godson, by the way, everybody. He
And he has
is a golden
4 legs.
retriever.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's a
he has
golden
4 legs. He is
retriever.
a golden retriever.
He's
But
a golden
and don't,
retriever puppy. He's a puppy in training, and
yeah.
so he'll be about 5 months old at the time of the retreat. So he's wide
I
open.
know. I'm so excited. I can't wait. And you just made my dogs jealous. So
I keep him tethered to me. I keep him tethered to me. I have a little leash and a waist thing, and so we've been doing a lot of practicing with that. So he knows,
oh,
so he
good.
learns how to behave. So when we're with people, he's learning not to jump up on people, and yeah.
And Rachel says, I just love you both. I'm open to it all. I trust you both so much, so I'm going to be ready for anything. Absolutely. And you know what, Rachel, you're gonna have a great time, and I'm so excited to finally get to hang out with you and have a great time and do paranormal investigations. It's gonna be amazing. So if you haven't signed up, you better sign up soon because spots are going fast. So, but yeah, and it's really interesting is that Julie being one of those people that has just constant activity around her, especially what she has to deal with, is sometimes feels like, oh my gosh, if you haven't met her, you might think, oh my gosh, that might be too intense. But no, it's like the energy around Julie. Some may be negative, but there's this interesting balance that happens, or what that Julie projects out, and it's actually pretty magical. So yeah, you're gonna definitely love it, Rachel. So yeah, and oh, I was busy trying to get the information up for our call or our caller.
Yeah.
Let me see.
And for those who are,
So let me
yeah,
set it
those,
up. So
go ahead. Yeah. So you're setting it
oh
up,
no,
and
go
while
ahead.
you're setting it up, yeah, no, while you're setting it up, I'm just going to say for the people who are just joining us that we have a listener, an anonymous listener, has sent us a little story about something that happened in her awakening. And she took some photographs. She felt some things. She felt something in the room, and Theon will read what she wrote. But she felt something in the room. She would see things out of the corner of her eye, and I think a lot of people listening probably have had similar experiences. And if you have, put it in the chat. Let us know if you have these experiences of seeing lights or colors, or even like a person or a shadow going by to in your periphery, or not quite so in your periphery. And then just that feeling, and sometimes that feeling can be pretty sinister, and not because it's something evil, but it's just because you're just recognizing there's something here, and it could be grandma. I mean, it could be grandma. So when she felt that, she started snapping photos. And the photos, it's completely dark. It's completely dark in the room, and there's a flash, but in the flash, you can see something. So Theon's going to show that and let you see that. So it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
I'm going to slow it down because she tried to cut it for us. So it's a little bit, it skips a little bit. So I'm going to just try to make it as easy for everyone to see as possible. So I don't know how to make this a little bigger since it's a video, but let's see if I can.
Yeah,
I guess not.
and we'll talk about orbs. Theon had a conversation with somebody. There's the controversial, about orbs on video. Some people say, well, orbs aren't spiritual energy at all. And then some people
Right.
think, well, it is spiritual energy. Well, it's both. So not all orbs are spiritual energy, but not all orbs are dust. So we're going to
Right.
talk about and show some of the things that we have that we are just certain are not dust, because
Yes.
of the way they behave, and also faces, very
Yes.
clear faces that come out of them. So we have some pretty interesting things. The what I get
Absolutely.
is in my own house. I mean, my house is so full of activity. Hang on, while you're getting that up, because you're still
Yeah.
working on that, right? I'll just tell
No, could you see it? I have it on
you, I don't
share.
see anything. No, I don't
Oh,
see anything.
strange. It should be.
Unless it's
Uh,
because I don't have full screen. No, I don't see it.
let's
Mm-mm.
see.
So I don't know because we're on
Okay, I'm
Restream,
gonna
so
hold
I
on.
don't know how that works. So I'm sitting on my couch. I
Yeah.
sit on my couch late. Sometimes I'm up. A lot of times I'm up to like 1 or 2 in the morning because I'm working and I'm grading papers because I teach online classes in psychology as a college professor, and I'm just or I'm writing. I'm working on my writing and my transcribing because all of this is going into my book, and I'll start getting a little, how you get a little sleepy. Um, and I'm there, I hear it, and then I start hearing voices. And I'm hearing voices. And so I've gotten to where I'll just jot down what they say. And it's a complete sentence. And some of the things that they say make sense in terms of communications that I've had with spirits or guides. Some of it makes no sense at all. And my one of my guides told me, I heard her one night very clearly. She said, some of the voices you hear were said 7 years ago. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking about 7 years ago. I didn't live in this house 7 years ago, but I also know there's a pathway because, I can capture the orbs. I know that they walk through my house. There's just a lot of activity in this house. And I think I'm just hearing like old memories, things that were said as energy of the sound. I don't know what the heck I'm hearing, but I'm hearing these voices, and sometimes they're not. I can see it now. I can see it now. And it's not real time. Sometimes it's like a memory. It's something I said before. Yeah. And I'm going to say one thing before you start. When you say, well, that just doesn't even make any sense. Well, did you know that sound waves never disappear? They change in frequency, but they never disappear.
Yes,
because it's energy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And what you say is a vibration. It's a vibration. And what you say, when you say something to someone that is very ugly, we say ugly in the South, something that's hurtful to other people. What you say never goes away. It's always vibrating through space. Yep. So just think about that. Think about that. And sometimes I pick some of this stuff up. I hear it. I hear things apparently that were said. It just like blows my mind.
Yeah. And in the same respect, because it's energy, it can be transformed. So that negative thing that you say could always be changed and transformed into something new. That's the way I would like to see it.
That's a nice theory. That's a good theory. It's a nice theory. I don't think it ever goes away.
Yeah, but also like energy is never destroyed, never created, but
Right.
it's transformed in some way. So in that respect, yes, those negative things that you say, do exist and continue to move on. But in a sense, couldn't you just change? Couldn't you learn to change the vibration of that?
I think you can change your behavior and not say hurtful things to people.
Yeah.
And just remember that sound waves never go away. And so if I'm hearing voices, I'm hearing things that were said 7 years ago, just out of the blue, I'm sitting here and I hear people talking and I hear conversations and I hear these statements. And some of them aren't so nice. Some of them are nice. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll just say I don't know that. Like, the more I think I know, the more I realize I don't know, and that I know, and that life is so mysterious.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I said, science is not actually fact. And they were like, "What? Are you kidding?" But in a sense, it's science is actually theory, and they're not they're not trying. Well, they're trying to prove a theory, not necessarily a fact, because just like anything else, that can change. Just like hundreds of years ago, we thought the world was flat. Scientists believe that, and then
some people still think it. Some people.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that too. And no matter what you tell them. they still think it's flat,
They
or what you show them, but anyway, so, what is truth, what is
science
reality,
is always changing, and we don't really try to prove anything. You just get
right?
evidence to support your theory, and then sometimes we have to change our theories based on new data. But there
Yeah,
are scientific laws. I mean, there's
yeah,
physical laws, but this is what's so difficult. When we're talking about spiritual energies, there's no theory to explain it. That's why it's so difficult for people to accept it.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this is the video that Julie was talking about. This is from the anonymous contributor, and I believe this is in their office. And so you're going to see sort of like, and this is an interesting piece because it sort of looks, and I would say with a discerning eye in the beginning, it sort of looks like it could be a bug, but the way that it displays afterwards, so it actually transforms into something, which is interesting that we just talked about transforming.
Right.
But right, and so
This on a cell phone. So, anybody can do this on a cell phone. When you're feeling
absolutely,
something like it's something, you're just feeling something change. You're feeling an energy in the room. You're feeling kind of sinister. Take out your cell phone and just start snapping pictures. I used to do that like early on when all of this really started to open up for me and I'm seeing orbs and energies and things with my eyeballs. I started trying to capture them on my cell phone, and I had the hardest time doing that because my cell phone was too slow and they're too fast. So I would lay in bed in the dark and I would start calling them and I would sing. I would sing and call them and just really get my vibe up. And I'm holding my
yeah,
cell phone up and I just start snapping, but I can see the orbs go across the screen. I could see them go
yeah,
across the screen, but I also am looking with my eyes and I'm not seeing them with my eyes, but I'm also not seeing a bug. But I see
right,
this like round thing like going across and it wasn't bright. And this was happening all the time. And I kept snapping the picture and then finally, and it would like be gone by the time it took the picture. There it goes.
yeah.
But she was
I'm
able to
I'm putting,
capture it, which I think is cool.
yeah. You see how I
Yeah.
keep rewinding it back,
Yeah.
and yeah, just very, very interesting. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Again, we're not trying to prove any facts here. This is really for you to say what you see.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting and it is pretty compelling of how it changes form almost. So let's see. Then I
Yeah, just
have
powers up. That's how I see UFOs. Yes. When you start having a lot of paranormal activity, generally you see UFOs as well, but just the
yes,
two just tend to go hand in hand. So when
yeah,
I go outside and I'll sit on my deck and I'll look up and if I'm opening my heart and I'm doing like spiritual work or prayer, opening my heart, loving the sky and the stars, and I get into that kind of high vibe state, that's
yeah,
generally when I'll see them. But I'll see them. The best one I saw was kind of like, in a sense, what that orb just did. It was it's like a
yeah. With
small
this
little
one,
thing. It's a small
yeah,
little thing. And I'm like, is that a satellite? Is it a satellite? And then all of a sudden it just powers up. It goes boom, 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 and to this huge orb in the sky. And then it
yeah,
just disappears. It's like gone.
wow,
And I think that
wow,
it's just all related. It's just,
yeah,
we're just seeing what we're seeing in the sky. I don't know. I'd like to know what people think about that. And if you've seen some strange things in the sky, and it reminds me so much, and it's like there's this like telepathic connection, but it reminds me too of just like the orbs that we see here and the spiritual energies we interact in our living space or wherever we are is also in the sky. It's like
yeah.
crazy. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Oh, someone named Anna says hello. Can you see me? Yes, we can. We can kind of see you, Anna. Let's see. Um, this I think this might be our anonymous contributor. Would you like to come on with us if you are our anonymous contributor. I'll wait for their response. But yeah, very interesting in the way that it sort of changes. And I did show that other video. Let's see. Let me see if I can re-show that again. Oh,
Here's Pablo. Pablo wants to say hi.
hi, oh, my friend. That he is my
Hi.
buddy when I was over there. I just met him.
I know
Hi,
everybody
baby.
loves to see people's animals on these things, but this little cat, he just jumps up here.
Right?
Loving. He's such a loving cat.
Oh, he really is. Just very sweet, and he was actually a stray, which is interesting
Yeah.
because when I met him, it was like gonna pet me. Let's see. And now I'm gonna re-show the other video. There we are. There we are. Okay. See if you can see it. There we are.
Yeah, and yeah, send it. Anybody who has any interesting things that they want to share, please send them to us, and we'd love to have anyone come on who has a cool story.
Absolutely. Okay, you see it in the center?
Okay,
There it
yeah,
goes,
there
and then
it is. So she captured it in the flash of a completely pitch black room, and she felt something there and started taking the pictures. And see, and that's the thing. And to me, it's not just about,
yeah.
I think it's cool when you can capture something and you say, and people say, well, it's a bug or it's a dust or maybe it's spiritual energy. But what's unique about this is that she felt it. She felt there was a reason why she started taking the pictures, because she felt something sinister. She felt like something was there. And this was during the time of her awakening. So she's just waking up to spiritual energies and multidimensional awareness. And she has this experience.
Right.
And then she's able to capture it on camera. Because, I'll tell you what I love about orb photography and capturing them on videos, just for me. I don't care about, it's not my job to try to convince anybody of anything. It's more personal to me because I'm having experiences. I'm hearing spirits. I'm hearing people talking to me. A lot of people think do I have schizophrenia? Could I have schizophrenia because I'm hearing voices? No. And we've talked about this before, about how you tell the difference between schizophrenia and mediumship. If you're hearing spirit voices, and I'm seeing, so I'm not only hearing and I'm seeing, and I'm like, well,
and feeling.
And feeling big time. Is this all in my head? And, especially when you're just opening up, you're like, is this all in my head? Am I losing my mind? What's happening here? And I can tell you about it. And then you say, well, that's neat. That's cool. I've not experienced that. Not you specifically, Tham, but I've not experienced that. So I'm hearing you. But when I caught that indigenous man on video, and we can show that one, that's not dust. That's that way you can see the orb coming out of my wall. I captured a screenshot of it. It is very clearly turned into a face, and you can see the feather coming down off of his head. That is what finally really convinced me, okay, this is real. This is not just happening in my head. This is real. And I captured this on the digital camera.
Is it which one is it? The first or second one that has writing on the video?
It says the creepiest video I've ever taken. It's the one that says,
love that title.
The creepiest video I've ever made. Do you see that one there?
Yeah. Let me just pause it, and then I'm going to share it now.
I have these on my Instagram. Some of these on my Instagram. Julie Star 33.
Okay.
with 2 R's. I haven't posted anything in a long time. I'm not very good about doing that. It says creepiest orb video I have made is what it says. 41 seconds.
Yeah. Yep. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to play it for you now. Let's see.
Okay. I don't see anything yet.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm on Instagram now.
It's on.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it now. There's a lag
It's
with
playing.
Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if they're gonna be able to see it because it's like zoomed up so high. It's like
Oh,
it's zoomed up so high you can't see it. You're not gonna be able to see it.
it's interesting because I can't actually take it. If it's a video, I can't make it smaller.
Yeah, I think it's because of the Instagram format. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. But others on Facebook and YouTube can see it.
Yeah, you can
But
see some
yeah.
orbs coming down, but well, go ahead and play it because maybe it will we'll be able to see the man's face at the end. But you can. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, it's just zoomed up too high, too far. Oh, darn.
Interesting. You know what I'm going to do is I will, let's see, we're going to go to the spot here. I'll stop here. Okay. And maybe I can move it around. Can you see it better? There. If I go like that and I have to pause it though. Can you see that?
Okay, so no, you can only see like
I
part
see
of it.
I see his face. His face starts right here. This is his forehead,
Yeah,
his nose, his mouth, his hair, and then his feather. You
yeah,
know, I know this one so well and
yeah.
I love it.
You can
But
see it.
yeah,
You can,
if
yeah,
you
all you
could,
can, yeah, you really can't see it. I mean, nobody can see much from that. You have to be able to see the whole thing.
yeah.
That's okay.
Let's see,
Anybody can
maybe,
go on my Instagram and see these videos.
yeah. What about if I did this? Is it better? I
No,
can see
all
the
you can see is
trail.
the front part. You can't see the back of the head or the feather or anything. So all it looks like is just like a white fuzz. If you don't, we already know what it is, so we can see. But anybody seeing it for the first
Spot
time
it.
can't tell anything from that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Oh well,
Interesting.
that's
Okay.
okay. We don't have to have all this dead air. And if anybody,
Yeah. And let's see. I have a couple
do the other
more.
one. Show the other one where I throw one out of my hand. Maybe that will show
Is
up.
it? Let's
The one that
see.
says Spirit Interactions #2.
Ooh, this one is
Yeah,
similar in the way that
part
it's
two.
formatted.
Yeah, that one might work.
Yeah.
That one's pretty neat because I'll literally throw an orb out of my hand and then you can see where it turns into a face. Right. Watch this. Okay. I'm throwing and I'm just right there and you see the light come out of my hand. And now this is
Yeah.
where I screenshotted it and it went by real fast, but that's a very weird person's weird man face.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna show again. So I'm just jamming to ABBA. Oh, and there's one I just tossed with my hand, and you can kind of see a rudimentary Picasso looking face there. And there's the orb in between. So
Wow.
the reason why I say, okay, people who say orb energy is just dust, you don't throw dust out of your hand. And
Yeah.
so sometimes some mediums, the orbs can come in and out through their body.
Yeah.
Physical mediums, it's physical mediumship. And so I am
Yeah.
a physical medium and spiritual energy comes in and out of my body. And that thus has been some of the problems I've had that I've learned how to close some of that stuff down. Here's another one where you can see one come out of you'll see one come right out of my forehead and out of my arms. There it went. There it went. And there it is slowed down. Like, this is real stuff. And this is finally what convinced me that this was real, what was happening with me, and I wasn't losing my mind. And now I go up, and you're going to see a face in the ceiling, and it's really freaking creepy. Of course, it might be kind of hard to see on your screen. But there, I blew it up a little bit. You see the shadow of the eye and the nose and the mouth, the man's face. Yeah. That thing came out of my arm.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, I've had real extreme physical mediumship experiences, even, where I've woken up from sleep and I had burns on my back. There's one, I know, burn marks on my back and kind of shaped as symbols, and there was no reason for them to be there. It took probably 6 weeks for it to heal.
Oh, wow.
This is a very round orb, and the way they blink like that, that's a real orb. That's spiritual.
Yeah, absolutely. And and then there's this one. This is when I called my mother, and I said, show me, can you show me that you're here with me? And this is what I got. So I'll back it up just a little. Hopefully you can see it. Maybe, let's see. No, it's not letting me.
Yeah, and what was cool about that, you'll say, well, it's just a big piece of dust going by. Well, I mean, I don't think it is, but you could say maybe. But what was so cool about this was that the timing of it. Seance in meditation, she's talking to her mother, asking her mother for a sign, and boom, there it is immediately. And now it's going to be hard to see on the computer screen, but if you look very closely, she has a screenshot. You can see a face in that circle. You can see a face. So when you capture your orb pictures or videos, look for the face. Look for the face.
And it had it. If you've seen my mother, this is her face. And if I can get it on this, that would be amazing. But so you will see it's like somewhere right here, her face just kind of pops up. I don't know if you can see it, probably not. I wish we had better ways to show.
It's going to be like restreaming, and it's just going to be hard.
Yeah.
To see that.
And Rachel asked, do you see orbs with your eyes too? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. I can.
Not always. Not always. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're there. Sometimes they're there and I don't see them, but I've been seeing this stuff now for about 4 or 5 years. It started opening up for me. And I'll tell you the coolest one I saw. And I don't think I know it was not like a normal spirit kind of thing. I think it was more UFO-ish. But anyway, it was in my bedroom. And I woke up in the middle of the night. And this is when this actually happened in the same week that I saw my first UFO. You want me to tell you about this?
Yeah.
I stepped out onto my back porch, and this is when my mediumship was just starting to open up. This was the beginning of my awakening. So my awakening process kind of has gone through a lot, and I'm awake now, but it went through a long, very difficult process. I stand out on my porch. This is when I was living at the farm. It was very dark, and you see all the stars. And I just happened to look up, and I never paid attention to the shows about aliens and UFOs. It didn't interest me. I would actually turn it off. I didn't want to hear it in his stuff about aliens. But I stepped out on my porch and I looked up at the sky, and I just happened to just think in my head, is anybody really up there? And at that moment, there was this flash. It went boom. It was like, and it looked like a spotlight almost, like it just kind of turned and went out. And there was nothing there. Nothing there. I heard nothing. I heard no airplanes. It was higher than an airplane, but low enough. It was pretty bright. And I said, I just saw a UFO. I think I just saw a UFO. I ran in the house and I texted my brother. And I'm like, I saw a UFO. And I told him what it was. I'm like, there's absolutely no explanation for this just lone spotlight just going bloop, and completely quiet, nothing up there. And it happened just as I thought in my mind, is there really anybody up there? And so it was the same week. I wake up two things happen. I wake up in the middle of the night and I see an orb. Rachel, it was an orb. And it was about this big. It was 3D. It was not out of the side of my eye. It was not a shadow. It was not like the normal kind of spiritual lights I see. It was 3D. It was the brightest thing. I could reach it. It was like I could reach out and touch it. And it had these little wings, and the wings are flapping. It's flying toward me. And then my dog, I had my pit bull dog in his crate next to my bed, woke up and he started viciously barking at it. And then it like disintegrated and went, it poofed, disappeared.
Wow.
And I'm looking and I'm like, damn, that was like a really cool hypnopompic hallucination. I was like, I'm having a hallucination. Looking back, I know that's not what it was. And this is like the beginning of trying to wake Julie up. Same week, I woke up and I saw this like fuchsia pink blob just kind of moving. And it was not maybe 4 feet away from me. And I'm looking because I don't have my contacts in, don't have my glasses in. Things are kind of fuzzy. I'm looking and I'm watching it coalesce, and it turned into a hand, Thaon. It was like a hand going like this, but it was not human. Okay. It had 5 fingers, but the fingers were really long and the thumb was really long. And I'm like, crap, I'm having another hypnopompic hallucination. That is like wild. And it just lingered there. It lingered there. And then it just kind of faded away. Like it just faded away. And that was the beginning of everything that has happened since then. So this is probably this was 2018 or 19 when all of this stuff started. And that's where it started. And it's just been nonstop. Now I'm seeing them up in the sky.
Yeah, and it's interesting, when you're still kind of at the beginning of your awakening, you really like that's a tough time, and we talk about it all the time. Awakenings are very difficult, and you have them often. When you're transitioning from one specific, I guess, learning experience to another, it's like mini awakenings.
It completely changes your belief system. It we call it there's cognitive dissonance. There's also a cognitive crisis where my experience is not fitting with my belief system. And people might think, and they'll go into a crisis. And I'm like, I would really seriously wondered if I could be developing schizophrenia, if there was something wrong with my eyes. So I was reaching out, seeking help to understand, with one medium in particular who really did help me through that initial stage to understand what was happening. But that's what the Evolve Me community is about, because people are waking up left and right and they're having their own experiences and they don't know how to understand it. They don't know how to assimilate it. You can't assimilate it. You got to accommodate it. So you got to change your whole cognitive structure, and that can be difficult and it can create a crisis.
And especially if you don't have people to support you. Yeah. I mean, could you imagine? Yeah. Could you imagine how many people have gone through this and, really never knew that this was what was happening to them? That's difficult. Yeah, and Rachel says, can you help me understand the pain point in my upper back? It is associated with a trauma. I cry anytime I get a message there, or when I have a tense day, I can barely sit up straight from the pain. Um, yeah, well, some of it could be, physical, but it also could be triggered with emotion. So, I mean, I'd have to know a little bit more about that pain in your upper back. But if you feel like it is from the trauma, definitely something that, I couldn't say at this point right now. But it does feel like, you do hold stress there, and I'm just saying that intuitively, but that also tightens the muscles, right? So when I'm bracing too much, or if I'm stressed out too much, I will tend to uh, um, constrict my muscles in a way. So maybe it has to do with that, but it also could be like I know I do have one that comes up every time I do a reading, that's personal and for family, that was triggered by a past life. Um, but it's something that you'll have to kind of investigate on for yourself. So, and that is to go into your past life, or to see if there's any correlation, or like what we talk about, Rachel, is following that cord. Um, you know, um, Visualizing that cord and where it triggers from, where it begins, and where the origin of that pain is, and you could do that intuitively. But what do you have to say about that, Julie?
I'll say when I see Rachel at the end of April for the retreat, since we're going to be roommates, I'll do some energy work on you. And I did some on you, Theon, when you came down on your back, and we literally felt rattling coming down. You remember
Yes.
that? I was
Yeah,
going to
oh my
ask,
gosh, it was amazing.
and that
Yeah.
was some kind of like packet of energy, something. I
Yeah.
have never felt anything like that in my life. So
Yeah.
I'm pushing the energy, trying to help you with that. And I literally feel rattling on my hand, and then it's gone. I
Yes.
move my hand down and there it is. Cause it was like coming
And,
down, down, down her back.
yes, and it was vibrating, and it was vibrating for me too. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, and I did I tell you that that's what it was? Because it's from a past life where I was stabbed in the back, and it was, but it had a family origin. So my son saw me die while I was. This is in my past life,
She had a
obviously.
past life memory. She had a past
Yeah,
life memory of that. That's a whole, we could
yeah,
do a whole another show on
I know.
past life
Yeah.
regression and reading past lives. That would be fun. Oh, that would
Oh
be
my gosh, yes.
to do
Oh,
past
absolutely. Yeah,
life.
let's do it. You know what? Maybe we should just do it. It's so much fun. Well, I don't know how fun it is sometimes, but especially when it's traumatic. But it's fun. It's fun for us because it's a great learning experience for you, and we can even teach you how to kind of do it. If maybe I don't know if we can do that. That would be really fun.
It's interesting. And people, well, what's the value? Why would I need to know about my past lives? Well, the biggest value
Mhm.
I think about going through an experience of experiencing memories, which you could do in past life regression, or even doing it with psychics. I mean, I had past life readings before I knew I could do this myself, and it just amazed the hell out of me. And it made sense because some of the things from the life, it correlates with things that are going on in your life now, or patterns that you have with
Absolutely.
people in your life now, and it gives you like a different perspective, to be open-minded about it. It just gives you a different perspective, but it shows us the eternal, how our souls are eternal. Our souls
Yes,
are eternal,
absolutely.
and you
Yeah,
just
and
don't live this one life. I mean, it doesn't make any sense that we would just live
abs-
for 70 years when your soul is eternal, and if there's so much to learn
that one
in a
time. Yeah.
lifetime,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, and if you think about time and space, it's not necessarily past. So if time is not
Right.
linear, your lives are happening all at once. So therefore, this is why it started intriguing me, because when I started going into past lives, not just for myself but for other people, they affect each other. And they continuously affect each other. Just like you can take something, or take something negative or a trauma from your past life. You could take wonderful experiences, as well as heal those past lives, and even transform the way that you react to it now through healing your past lives. So there's so much you can do. And the way that I see it, for some reason, is when I see a past life, it's almost like this echo that comes off of someone. So it's like past and future too, because again, there is no real past and future if you're really looking at it, but they all kind of work together. So sometimes if I'm doing healing, I connect with, and this may be a little bit much for people to kind of quantify right now, but I feel into my oversoul, which is that consciousness that has sprouted out all of your past lives. Let's just say it like that, right? And so I go into the oversoul, and then I can feel all of my past. And sometimes, especially if I'm triggered by something, or I'm trying to heal a specific thing within my life, I will ask to be shown the life that I need to heal, and then I go within that life, and then I'm quickly like, just recently, actually, this happened, where I something, and I won't get into all of that, but something that I didn't even know existed that triggered me. Um, I asked where it was, and this is what I mean to you, Rachel. Ask where it comes from, and just allow that information to come in. And I was instantly brought to a specific life that I actually have never seen before, and it kind of told me where that rooted from. So again, that's why past life readings, or sometimes regressions, or are so important, for you to understand why you work, because your behavior, your traumas, your everything does not just stem from this life, nor does it just stem from your eternal being. It stems from all of those things, plus your iterations, your incarnations. Does that make sense?
It's
So
it's a big thing to take a bite out of what Theon's talking about, and some people are just not going to get that.
yeah,
Some people will.
yeah.
So we just have to just keep an open mind, and you believe what you want to believe, and
Yeah.
open your mind up to other possibilities. But what she's saying makes a lot of sense. And I just want to say something, Theon, because Theon is a really, really good past life reader. She's a lot better, I think, than I am at past life readings.
Yeah.
She just gets in there and she's boom, boom, boom. She just has a lot of practice with it. And you say, well, there's no evidence. How do you get the evidence that that's real? Well, she gave me evidence. She gave me evidence. Because she said something, she read something from me in a past life reading that matched an experience that I had. And I'll tell you what it was. And this was, again, early on, when these things are just starting to happen, and I feel like, oh my God, I'm being psychically attacked. It was just like craziness. It was craziness. This was around the time when I woke up and I had all those burns marks on my back.
Yes.
I took a picture of it, but I don't know if anybody wants to see a picture of that. But it's kind of scary.
It is.
But it
It
scared me to death. It was really just not a good time for me. But anyway, it was around that time. I woke up in the morning, and I'm laying there. My eyes are closed, and suddenly there's a man rushing me. Okay, so it's a vision. It's very vivid. My eyes are closed. He's coming at me. And he is wearing a gray mechanic's uniform. He had black hair. I mean, I remember his face. It was just very detailed. And he had this look of anger, like he's coming after me. And it startled me. I just like woke up, my eyes open, my heart's racing. I'm like, what the heck was that? And I sketched him. I sketched him in my journal. I'm like, this was like just the most unusual thing that happened. And this was, since then I know, all right, this is spirit. This is a spirit. This is a past life memory. It could have actually been a spirit, but I think it was a past life memory that just came rushing in at me. She did that reading, and she did this reading, and it was something really, really bad that happened in this life. And I was probably killed. But it was very, very, it was very bad. And she started describing this man wearing this gray mechanic's uniform and this like black hair. And she described him just like I saw him. And it just gave me, it really gave me the chill. Actually, I kind of that was kind of hard after I heard that, because I started getting the past life memories and I started getting physical sensations and things like that. I got really scared. I had to leave my house and go stay at my boyfriend's house after that. So it's like the beginning when some of this stuff starts opening up for you, it can be pretty terrifying.
And confusing. So that's why I hate to still all of those things, but it's interesting how utilizing like a past life reading kind of helped you not just to validate the experience that you had, but also it really opened you up, because that was the beginning. For both of us, you and I were just in. Yeah, and I had no idea. Like I was just going into this life, and I remember just being automatically just pulled into it and seeing it so realistically, and then even for the reader at the time, it was like hard to sort of understand, but
Yeah.
it was a great experience for both of us, but also, when we talk about things that may seem over your head, it doesn't mean that it completely is. And also use your own experience, and don't necessarily, have to know everything, because that's not how we did it. We had each other, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Learning all of this together, and really kind of coming, over years of practice. So, maybe what we say now doesn't make a ton of sense, but as you progress on into your, I guess, spiritual path, or whatever, you'll start making, or viewing these things in your own way,
Yeah.
and your own experiences. And it's funny how you don't really think, um, a lot of these things make a ton of sense, but I always notice that they tend to make sense later on. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like, right? And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, Julie, I don't remember you telling me that is what happened.
Yeah.
I knew that it was striking to
You
me, but I
probably
didn't
forgot.
know.
Yeah, you probably forgot, but I
Yeah.
think I did tell you. I think I told you. But so here's the thing. Everybody has their own experience and their own experiences that are unique to them, that helps them to wake up. And so what my experiences have been a little tough, and that's what I've needed. And some of it's been a little scary and traumatic, and that's what I've needed for my path. But it's not the same as it would be for you, or for Laura, or for Robin, or for Tina, right? You're going to have your own experiences, and your own path with it. And it was, even though it was scary and traumatic, and the past life reading and the aftermath of that, because I had had my own experience with this same man, I'm like, oh my God, it was a little scary and traumatic, but I needed it, because it helped to wake me up that this is real. It's real, because how could you give me the exact same description of this man that rushed me, in my head when I'm in my bed, that scared me to death? It's like that had never happened before, and it's never happened quite like that since. So it just opens me up to a bigger reality. And it also, I needed to take the time to integrate that experience, and integrate what my soul experienced in that life, because there were um, how do you say it, that it bled over in certain ways in this life, so there was healing that needed to happen there. You know, when I was born, I was
Absolutely.
born with a fat lip. I was born with this like big thing on my lip, like somebody had punched me. This
Really?
life would have been my most recent
What?
life, because this was like in the 50s, 1950s or 40s, and I was born in 1966. And so that would have been the
Yes.
time that I died as a young person. And I also couldn't run.
Wow.
It was like I was born traumatized. And as a child, I could not run. There was nothing wrong with my legs, nothing wrong with my feet. But it's like whenever I tried to run as a child, and people are like, what is wrong with you? It's like in a dream when you're trying to run in a dream, but you just can't get your legs going. And it's like
Oh,
you're running in the
wow.
mud or the sand, and you just can't. That's what it really was like for me as a child trying to physically run. I couldn't run,
I know.
and yeah, people didn't
I,
understand that, and I didn't understand that. But I think it came
why you
back.
couldn't?
I think
Yeah.
it was just a bleed over from that trauma, and then coming back.
For the, yeah, and it must have been so fresh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it must have been so fresh, and it's interesting because there are a lot of signs. Oh, Rachel said, "Wow, I cannot wait for your book, Julie." I know. You have no idea that I just love Julie and I could talk for
it's
hours,
gonna be
and
illustrated.
we
It's
never
gonna
have.
be illustrated too. My
What?
book is going to be illustrated,
Yeah, I
so
know.
you'll have
Oh, it better
drawings
be.
of what I see.
It better. Yes, and Julie makes the most. I remember. I was showing my cousin Joanna the picture that you painted for me. She goes, "How does she make it so it's like exactly all the details, like every little detail about you? Like that's how beautifully Julie sketches and paints. And but it is. I would love to see an illustrated book from you, but yeah, it's incredible the experiences that you have, and yes, as one of your dearest friends, I want to say that um, I'm glad to be taking this with you. I'm glad to be experiencing this with you. Hopefully, that you always know that you're never alone,
Um,
and you always have somebody, and it's as but in another way, um, she fascinates me. I hate to say it like that, but like I mean, I'm always, and Julie and I are very much, and this is why I think we are resilient to many of these downfalls that some people can go through. Is that we continuously keep curious, um, curiosity, and wanting to experience. Trumps a lot of some of the internal stuff sometimes that you can have with
you
all
know
of this.
what?
So
You know what?
I you know
I gotta have to cut you
mhm.
off a second, because I'm gonna also say that curiosity sometimes kills the cat, and but the cat has 9 lives.
Yes, but it's true. Oh my gosh, that's weird that you said that because I was actually saying the same. I was running today, and I was saying I just love to experience everything, and even if okay, so I did this crazy thing, and if you know me, and Julie knows me, I'm deathly afraid of heights to the point where if I go on it, I can't go up a higher ladder. Otherwise, I will freeze, and I don't know
I
why.
can't either.
I actually, when we were, yeah, it's terrifying. I don't know what happens. I actually, I had a bunch of kids. I was at a fair, and I was at this little bridge that was, I guess, 6 feet tall, so people could stand under it. I was in the middle of this like rickety bridge, and I froze. And all these little kids, like 5 years old, going, "Come on, lady!" And I was like it's terrified. And so that's the extent of what I'm like. And then my husband and I just went to Costa Rica last week, and we got tickets to Zipline. what I found out later was that it's 2 miles and you're going from mountaintop to mountaintop.
No way.
And Julie, I have to show you the video. Um, so there's actually video of me doing it, and I have a GoPro on, and it's dead silence because I'm frozen solid, and I just look down and I see the tops of trees that are far down, and I'm like, oh my God. And yeah, it was the most 2 miles. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced, but I did
I'm
it,
proud of you.
and I'm proud of
I'm
myself.
proud of you.
Right? I thank you. Um, I don't know if I can ever do it again, but yeah.
You will never catch.
But it is,
You will never catch this chick doing something like that. No.
yeah. I'm going to trick you because I want to take you to Costa Rica, and I would be like, "Oh, it's fine. It's just a little zip lining," because that's what happened to me. And but but that's the thing, and I was thinking this today is that it's all about the experience, and we are kind of lucky in the fact that as eternal beings. Not that I'm gonna say like run with scissors and jump off buildings because you'll be fine. What I mean by this is that it's all an experience, and as much as you can try to take the fear out of it in order to I can say now I zip lined through mountaintops, and that was fun for me, kind of. But I did it, and you know, uh, and I'm glad that I did because it was again an experience, even though it wasn't the
You know what? You just stepped out of your comfort zone and you just did it, and you lived to tell about
best. Yeah, exactly. And so and I think that's why, if I am meant to go, then I am meant to go, and I'm not going to, no matter how much I bubble tape, bubble wrap myself, I, will go one day. So, might as well enjoy life. I am going to try to restrict as many times as I can be on high things, but,
it.
and not necessarily put myself in danger all the time, but I'm going to be a little easier, on anticipating some of the horrible things, like I said before, going on a little bridge that's 6 feet high is not necessarily terrifying. That is ridiculous, or even a stairs. I wouldn't get hurt anyway. I don't know what my problem is, but
Past life,
but you know.
probably thrown off a cliff in our past lives.
Yes, I was. Also, yeah, and I don't love water for the same reason, because of a past life, because I've always had this, and I live in Florida, so that stinks. So it's like it's those unnatural fears, like fears of dogs, even if you've never gotten bit by one. Look into that, right? That could be something from a past life. I had no water trauma, no traumas for falling. So there very well could be a fear from a past life, which I do know specifically for me that those two things are. But yeah, just interesting. I would love to hear other people's stories about you know um, things that carry over. And um, oh, and Rachel. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting when we see you, Rachel, in April. We're going to do a lot of fun things, and I'm going to be jealous because you guys get to room.
Well, you can't come hang out with us. And if you need some more work on your back,
Yeah,
that like I did before, if you need
I
some more work on that, we can work on that some more.
I would love that, and also I'm going to steal bear.
No.
Yeah. I go. I told Julie. He's got to spend some time with his godmother. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
he's
We'll argue about that
he's a
later.
handful. Let me tell you, he's a handful. He's a
Oh, so I love handfuls. You know that. So we're gonna just no, you can't take him. Um, Rachel, I'm just gonna steal him in the night, and that's okay. I'm not gonna even tell you about it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And yeah, so if anybody would like to share any of their stories or experiences with us, we can do what we did tonight and show your videos or photos on here live, or you can come on yourself and show them. So we would love to hear your experiences, especially any of your past life experiences. And in fact, I think that was a brilliant idea, Julie. We really need to do a past life reading, or just yeah, go into past lives and things
Do a
like.
past
Yes,
reading. Yeah, that would be interesting.
yeah, yeah. You know what? If anybody wants to volunteer, we can do your past lives for you. That would be amazing. Yeah, let us know, and we'll have you on, and we'll do the past life with you.
Past life reading.
Yeah,
Yeah, past
absolutely.
lives.
Ah, I know. Okay, so yes, and just again for everybody, um, coming up April 26th through the 28th, we're going to be at the Ultimate Paranormal Experience Retreat that we're putting on, and it's in St. Augustine, Florida, which is the oldest city in the U.S. And we're going to be doing intuitive development, intuitive ghost tours where we're going to be walking around through the city. We're going to be doing remote viewing, scavenger hunts, learning about ITC, which is instrumental transcommunication, doing working with ghost hunting equipment and going on paranormal investigations. I mean, it's going to be an entire weekend of intuitive and paranormal fun. So again, if you want to register, I would register soon because we have only a few spots left. But you can go on to evolveme.com and it's under Ultimate Paranormal Experience Retreat. And just click on that, and it gives you the details as well as all the information about the hotel. And, um, you could book right there. So definitely come join us because wherever Julie, Rachel, and I go is always a party. So it's always a spirited
A
party.
spirit
Um,
with or
exactly.
without, doesn't
Yeah,
matter. With or without the spirits.
oh my gosh, yes,
Period.
I know. And I can't wait to come back. I'm coming back, to your house in May.
Okay.
So, and yeah, and I'm going to be going with Julie because she is doing stuff with the Edgar Casey, oh my gosh, I want to say Institute, sorry.
SCS,
And
SCS,
she's at,
Association for Research and Enlightenment in Virginia Beach. It's where Edgar Casey's hospital was. So they have a lot of things going on there. So I get to do the psychic. They have a mind body fair. So I've been invited to do readings there at the mind body fairs, and I'm also once a month going and I'm doing 20-minute readings for people in Edgar Casey Library. And I'm doing my first one this Friday, so I'm kind of psyched about that.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. And yes, and I want to go and cheer you on when you do it in May. But yes, that's exciting. So Friday, right? So if anybody's in that area, Virginia Beach, and you want to go to the Edgar Cayce Museum, you'll probably meet Julie. So head on over there, and she'll be doing readings Friday. So that's awesome. I'm so excited. Yeah, so again, thank you all for joining us. And again, if you want to get in touch with me, I'm on evolveme.com and I have classes and readings and different services on there. Julie is also on there and she can tell you what she does.
Yeah, I do readings and intuitive life coaching for people who need a little bit more, and I charge less for like multiple life coaching sessions because it's more conversational, and sometimes people just need a little extra support, particularly if they're going through awakening and they're having a tough time with that or need spiritual counseling. I'm there for you. And also paranormal consultations and clearings. I can help out with that. So, and mediumship, but I'll do mediumship in the context of a reading, of a regular reading. And you can also find me on Evolve Me and also on my website, juliestarparker.com, and that's star with 2 R's. And I'm on Instagram, juliestar33, and on Facebook also. I forgot my handle. I'm not great with social media. Julie Star Parker.
but she's great with everything else. Julie Star Parker.
I'm old.
But yeah, so definitely gonna be. Or are you talking? Me too. I don't love to. I'm not great with my own personal social media. I'm better with other things, but only
You're
not
great.
a
You and
big
Rachel.
social media.
Yeah, you and Rachel. You and Rachel do a great job with Evolve Me.
Rachel's great.
Yeah.
Aw. Well, Rachel, I will say, it does an amazing job with it for sure. But yeah, so definitely come back next week. We're going to be doing, like we said, we're going to be doing past life readings and talking about, past lives and how in their importance within this one. So definitely check us out next week and have a wonderful night, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.